Hello, everyone. Welcome to Mining Now. We have Epiroc on the show this morning from PDAC. As you can see in the background, they have arguably the best booth at PDAC. It's just awesome, and we'll try to get some pictures of it later as well to bring up if you can't see it behind us. We've got Dawn Larsen. She is the Digital Solutions Manager for Canada at Epiroc. Dawn, welcome to the show.
Thanks for letting me be here. It's great.
What has been the what is sort of your focus and role at Epiroc?
Well, Epiroc has acquired a numerous strategic world-class software for mining, and so they have engaged me to help mining customers really, develop that digital roadmap to become very competitive and modern with using digitalization in their mines.
Aside from the obvious of we're all here doing business and selling, so aside from that, why does a company like Epiroc come on a show like this? And you kind of championed it, and that's why I'm asking you the question. Why did you personally think it's valuable to be on these sort of long form discussions?
Well, digitalization is a big animal when you're talking about it, and everybody knows Epiroc for its world-class, mining equipment, their, cutting edge automation. But people are just realizing the impact we are having with the digitalization and the mining software that we bring to the mining, industry. And so, as mines are talking with other mines and they're saying, hey, have you realized that Epiroc has the software we're using, and we're seeing, up to 38% increase in productivity, or 18% here. They're really, word's starting to spread, but this is a great opportunity to talk to all levels of the mining industry and really kind of help them understand how easy it is, but how impactful it is on their bottom line, both with productivity, profitability, utilization, and safety.
Yeah, and it's hard to capture in a 30-second little promo type thing.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I guess it's even for Epiroc, even for your team, you're coming in on the digital side, and a lot of the team would be, I guess, would be on the hardware side, the equipment side. That's even that's a merge for as a company as well. There's a lot of moving parts to that.
Well, Epiroc is a large company, and we have a lot of personnel that have been along. Epiroc is well known for their, employees being there for a long time. So there's a lot of mining intelligence in their employees. And the great part about that is they're very open and receptive to the digitalization, because they do see the end result for their mining clients. And there's nobody more, dedicated to their customer than Epiroc account managers and management and staff. And so this has been a great transition. They see the positive impact. They see the quick results within a year in some of the mine clients where we're implementing the digital roadmap, and it's easy for them to adapt and adopt and really to introduce to their mine customers.
Let's talk about our heavy industry tour brought to you by Savona Equipment, supplying mining equipment worldwide, and Corporate Traveler Canada, helping companies travel the globe simpler, faster, and easier. We are heading to events across North America, Africa, and Australia, and filming episodes on location. Email us at info@crownsman.com to be part of Crownsman's Heavy Industry World Tour. Okay, so let's give a special thank you to one of our longest sponsors of the show, Savona Equipment. And I'm actually going to hand it over to Jared so that he can give you a little bit more info on Savona Equipment.
Thank you. So people see them as sponsors, so they'll ask me, kind of who they are, what they are, and just trying to understand the scope of the company. So Savona Equipment is a mining supply company, and they're delivering on the whole equipment supply chain. So everything from the ore processing to underground mining, open pit. They're in hard rock and placer operations. And what they're doing is they're sourcing equipment from all over the world and then delivering it all over the world. Now, they are a Canadian company, so they're based there. But, let's say, they're selling entire ore processing plants. So there might be a plant down in Latin America, and there's a new mine that needs that plant in Africa or somewhere in the U.S. So they're facilitating that entire transactions. But they're also delivering, an individual conveyor or a concentrator or a pump package or just an electrical package. So it really is the whole gambit of the mining equipment supply chain.
Oh, that's great then. Well, then you definitely have to check them out. If you're looking for mining equipment, visit them at savonaequipment.com, where you will find more equipment every day. At Corporate Traveler, their seamless combination of expert service and innovative booking tech means you have what you need when you need it. Mining companies need experienced agents who know how to get you to far-to-reach destinations with ease, who understand rotational crew travel, chartering, and so much more. And with an average tenure of 8 years, their agents are the best in the biz and are experts at managing all your mining travel needs. Have an emergency? They've got your back 24/7, anywhere, on any device. Don't get stuck with complicated and rigid travel options. Get it done with Corporate Traveler. Visit them at corptraveler.com. Your trusted partner of choice, Best Tech Engineering, is excited to announce that they have acquired Spencer Engineering. This allows Best Tech to add mine hoist expertise to their existing suite of services, including mining, power, electrical, instrumentation and automation, mechanical, and structural divisions. This diversification will offer clients the highest level of service and value for their projects. Don't miss out on this exciting new chapter of engineering excellence. Reach out today at besttech@besttech.com to learn how Best Tech can help you.
We've had episodes, smaller companies that have some amazing software. I mean, Epiroc by this time might own some of them. I'm not sure, but they've solved a very specific problems. Sensors on explosives and things like that. Very specific stuff. But what you're talking now is getting these. And one of the questions was, this was certainly 2 or 3 years ago. The topic quite often ended up being, how does this integrate? They go, well. And then there was ways to do it, and but it wasn't simple. The technology was amazing, the extraction of information was amazing, but then to get it all together with all this other information was a challenge for them. But what you're talking about, the strategic planning, is eliminating this sort of stoppage of information sharing across the whole value chain, right?
That is Epiroc's digital solutions superpower, is that we have the ability to take data pieces, be it sensors, equipment activity, people, location, plans, and integrate that all and standardize it and make it accessible. So any OEM, any software program, we can use and standardize and bring the visual data in real time to mine management to make decisions, but also bring it back to the working phase. And there's nobody in the industry that I'm aware of that can do that. So that is the superpower of Epiroc software.
So in a moment, I want to jump into actually just highlight some of the specific software, just to give the audience sort of a little bit more in-depth on each one. And I know there's a lot, so we're just going to have to pick a few. But I just wanted to kind of highlight some of what mines are asking for, on the safety side, utilization, adoption, just some of the conversations that you're having with the mines. Can you sort of package that too before we go into the specific softwares?
Sure. Well, mines are experiencing the same problems worldwide. It doesn't matter what type of mine they are. It's very interesting to see that they come up with the same challenges, maybe just in different variations. And some of those big challenges where they're losing millions of dollars or losing productivity it's about not knowing where people, equipment, and assets are in the mine, and being able to make real-time decisions to save the shift. So there's a lot of shift conflicts. There's a lot of missing assets. There's the lost time, not being able to make real-time decisions. Lots of paper and pen. Lots of using the radio, which is very hard to get in line to get on the radio to get a decision. A lot of traffic congestion is a big thing. We have to keep production vehicles moving safely, moving quickly, and getting those cycle times in, ensuring that we're managing and measuring the loads that are going. And so those are some of the big problems that mines are having. And so the great part is Epiroc software solves all of those problems and really optimizes safety. So we're really actually maximizing productivity with all of these challenges, but doing it safely.
Yeah, and that was the thing before, is that there was, this is definitely shifted now, but there was this concern that if you implement all these sort of safety measures and stuff, that it would end up reducing productivity. Of course, that's the concern. 50 years ago, that was a concern. But now, like what you're saying, and because I've been sitting on some talks and that, and you're hearing, I've been hearing CEOs of contractors, and they're talking about that these safety measures being put in place and protecting assets, a $2 million piece of equipment not getting rubbed down the side of a tunnel, that now they're actually, because of all these measures, all this software that's protecting the gear, protecting the people, they're more willing to make the investment in assets now. And that's a shift that I don't even, what they said is they didn't even see that coming. That was a bonus part. But I'm sure from Epiroc side, they're seeing a lot of that.
Yeah, we're actually so in terms of safety, we're putting a lot of proactive decision making into the hands of the, mine personnel that know best what to do.
Right.
And so that's great. And when you see some of the software we're going to talk about, then yes, there's less opportunity where there's vehicle incursion or person to vehicle incursion, because it's so safe, it's so proactive. The operators are alerted 500 meters, minimum to when something is that they have to make a decision for. And so when you have that ability to see through walls, see around corners, to proactively make a decision long before you get into that situation that could be unsafe. You create a powerful, safe environment, stress-free environment, and you can have more equipment and more mine personnel, and we're seeing that in mines that they can have more production vehicles moving because now they can monitor and measure and optimize the flow in a much safer way.
DMF Filtration is the ideal partner in solid liquid separation. Headquartered and manufacturing facilities in Italy with over 6,000 installations all over the world, DMF Filtration takes you beyond the boundaries of innovation thanks to the wide range of filter press models and thickeners available within the product portfolio. The launch of Domino, the largest filter press in the world, and AIDA, the system tutor providing real-time connection with the company, are only the latest achievements for this group, which is committed to continuous improvement. You can visit them at dmffiltration.com to learn more. Geograph is Australia's leading manufacturer of enhanced performance mining parts. Geograph designs and manufactures enhanced wear parts to suit major mining machinery from Caterpillar, Komatsu, Hitachi, Liebherr, and more. The Geograph Enhanced Performance range is designed to reduce downtime and operating costs for mine sites and off-site repairers by engineering wear parts to last longer. Geograph challenges you to expect more from yourself and your assets. Visit geograph.com.au for more information or click the link in the video description below. The CIM 2023 Convention and Expo is coming to Montreal from April 30th to May 3rd, so join us in recognizing your peers at the annual CIM Awards Gala. This year is extra special because CIM is celebrating its 125th anniversary. There will be special programming and perks for exhibitors and attendees alike. Registration is now open and tickets sell out fast, so visit CIM.org to register now for short courses and explore sponsorship opportunities.
It really is an amazing time to be part of the mining industry. We've watched this show evolve and the conversations evolve and just go deeper and deeper into the more layers you pull back, the more it just sort of explodes new topics. We want to talk about the actual software.
Absolutely.
If you had to pick, let's say 3 that you had to highlight, you want people to know about, what would those ones be?
Well, mines are really quickly adopting what we call situational awareness. So we have this amazing opportunity to have a 3D map in 3D full spec to see the mine. So both the mine personnel at the working face, the operator in the control room, and the boardroom, they all have access to people, equipment, and assets in the mine now. You can make so many better decisions. You can manage flows. You can analyze systems, and you can really optimize processes that way. And so situational awareness gives us this whole 3D map without having GPS and everything underground that you can see through walls and around corners. That's powerful. Well, using the situational awareness, we have really rugged tablets that are built into the equipment, and we call that onboard. And here now they have a GPS-like navigation system where they can, travel through the mine. And if you can imagine in a mine, how many new employees come in, contractors, people that are there infrequently, and now changeover everything, and with personnel. And so now with the onboard in the equipment, they have this ability to see around walls, around corners. They have, proactive knowledge of what's coming, down the ramps, so that they're not, having to back down ramps and things of that nature. They can locate assets very quickly. There's just so much power in having this on board on the equipment. And again, the proactive reaction time so that there aren't incursions both with other equipment or people is very powerful. Then taking that situational awareness, we've now put it in the hands of mine personnel with mine phones, because now based on user roles, they can have access to any data in the mine, and they can locate assets. They can locate where the nearest nearest refuge station is in the case of an emergency. And if you've ever been underground when there's an emergency or a fire, you can't see. So having access to something digital in your hands to find out where the nearest refuge station is and get you there, directing you to where it is. Tell the operator in the control room can tell how many people are in the refuge station and things of that nature is really, really powerful. And just two quick more. So the other thing is emergency support. Mines are quickly adopting this emergency support software, where now in the case of an emergency, the control room has full access to where people are in the mine. They
so
can tell.
This is because people have these devices, and then everybody's connected.
Yeah, so they have a tag on their body, and so now we can and on the equipment and on the assets, and so the control room has full access to where people are in the mine, and so they can and quickly mine personnel can mark themselves as safe or unsafe. If they went into a refuge station, they mark themselves as safe. The control room knows how many people are in the refuge station, which ones are available. They can actually in two-way communicate with mine personnel to give them some directions about if something's happening in the mine that's an emergency, can give them some instructions. They know who's safe or unsafe. And really what this emergency support has done in some mines, they have said it's shaved off 9 to 15% off their evacuation times. But more importantly, it's also helped rescue operations take 2 hours off of manually tagging and calling personnel to find out if they're safe. It's really powerful when you see the opportunities for safety, productivity, and utilization.
And sometimes when we have these conversations, we run the risk, because we talk about technology so much, not just in mind, but just in life, you almost miss how incredible that is. That 10 years ago, which is a blink, that's not very long ago, that there were people, you didn't know where people were, you didn't know where equipment was. I mean, and now the ability to be able to know where everybody is in an emergency, let them know Mark is safe, everything you just talked about, that's just an incredible technology. And then circling back to Epiroc, matched up with the actual hardware, I mean, it's just, I'd hate to be your competition. That's essentially what I'm saying.
Well, and it's great because technology has been the great enabler. I mean, we take advantage or take it for granted that we have GPS above ground, but below ground, bringing in situational awareness or traffic awareness, that is incredible. And, communications infrastructure underground has really enabled that. And the reduction of the cost of bringing communication structures underground has been reduced. And so now it is achievable for mines to have that. And here's the great part about our software. Even if there isn't mine communications in some areas, our software still works and keeps working. And then once you reconnect to the communications backbone again, it uploads everything. So you're never losing a mind map. You're never losing directions to the refuge station, even when you're out of a communication area.
What about the planning and scheduling side? I would imagine you're pretty heavy into that as well.
That is the single most powerful solution. And Epiroc has both the operational software that works at the working face and on a tablet, but we also have the enterprise integration. So mines are using it to plan life of mine, to plan long-term and midterm planning, and then pushing it through to our short-term planning software that's available on tablets, where you're winning the shift, and operators can actually accurately dictate how many bolts and what they're drilling in meters and everything on their tablet, so that the operating room sees that, or control room sees that. But then it's two-way in that it can impact the mine plan and be, so the great part is that we have this planning and software that goes all the way through the mine. And mines are seeing that this is making a difference to their bottom line, because commodities change or ore grade changes, and then now they can pivot where before, again, I think I mentioned that it could take 12 people 6 months, and we can collapse that time into weeks and give them new mine plan options.
So is there situational AI that's part of this planning and situational setups?
Well, situational awareness helps people find their way through the mine. What this is called is short interval control, planning and scheduling.
Right.
And so the great part, so that's the first part of it. And then the other solution software that we have is like a master business scheduler. So if you can imagine, there's many divisions in a mine. Yep. So there's maintenance and production, and there's HR and, planning. They all input their information into our software, and then our software deconflicts everything that's going on in the mine. And that's the biggest, I would say, revenue loss and time consumer is that there's conflicts in the mine during a shift. And so the software, works to eliminate that. So by the time it gets to the short-term plan, all of that's taken out. And again, the work plans are given out daily. And before, the safety meetings were consumed with, here's what you have to do during your shift and how many meters and, what you have to do. And now the safety meetings are truly about safety because everything's digital on their tablet. They don't have to carry around paper and pen. And better than that, they don't have to submit a piece of paper of what they've accomplished at the end of the shift, and somebody manually is entering that. So subjective, so open to errors and omissions, and now that's all eliminated with digitalization.
What? Just to wrap up the interview, what do you think? Just talking to your team meeting, what would be still? Let's call it the biggest confusion about technology and asset management and personnel management and all these things integrated with this technology. What would be the biggest miscommunication that can still happen when people are stopping by? What kind of questions are you getting? What sort of clarifications are people looking for?
Good question. Well, mine stakeholders are coming by and they're saying, well, that's something we'll be ready for in 2 years.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, let's talk now so that while you're thinking through your problems or you're encountering bottlenecks, then you understand how software could play a role. And then you understand that, because mine stakeholders think, oh, it's a big investment. It is an investment, but the money that you're going to generate, the revenue, it's millions of dollars gained or saved easily in a year. We have mines like Fosterville Mine and Goldfields that say that they've seen an ROI in a year.
Yeah.
There's a mine in Brazil that went from ore reserves of 41 kilotons to 210 kiloton reserves in 1 year using our software.
Wow.
So it doesn't take long to recoup your investment. So it's better not to put it off. It's better to have that discussion and understand what's possible. You don't have to make any decision.
But start sort of getting your mind and your team around what is inevitably is coming.
Yeah. So, to be fully digitalized in a mine, it takes anywhere from 3 to 5 years. So you've got to start talking about, what data you want to manage, how you want to manage it, and who's going to do what with data.
Yeah.
And then, implement that into the mine. So to have those conversations at the beginning, long before you're actually doing any digitalization, really positively impacts how you start to manage your mine up until you decide to implement software.
Yeah. Dawn, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I hope this is not the last episode we do with you. It's this is a very surface scraping type episode.
Absolutely.
But it was a great discussion.
Yes,
so thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity.
And thank you everybody for watching. We've got plenty more episodes coming at you. So please keep sharing, subscribing. Well, if you're watching, you're probably already subscribed. But share it out and help build our audience. We love the support you've given us. So thank you, and we will see you on the next episode of Mining Now.